more and more likely that Democrats will push through the Biden administration's nearly $2 trillion economic relief package, with or without Republicans. The president met with a group of Senate Republicans for about 2 hours in the Oval Office yesterday to pitch their much smaller $600 billion package. But the message from the White House is that it doesn't meet the moment. Senator Susan Collins said the meeting was very productive and cordial. But when it comes to striking a compromise, the sides are far apart. And the White House says the president will not delay aid to try and win Republican support. Democrats on the Hill have already started the process that would allow a bill to pass without Republican support. Yesterday, before the meeting, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki was asked exactly what the president considers bipartisan.
Would you consider a bill bipartisan if it doesn't have any support, Republican support in Congress, but it has, support among Republican voters?
Well, I think you touched on an interesting point, which is that 74% of the public, according to recent polls, supports this package and the key components of this package. Democrats and Republicans. We just saw the Republican governor of West Virginia come out earlier today and advocate for a big package. So, when the president talks about unifying the country and bringing the country together, he's not suggesting that he is going to make one party out of the Democratic and Republican parties in Congress. But he is meeting with Republicans today, 10 Republicans who have sent this letter, because he feels they made a good faith effort to put the top lines of a proposal forward, and he wants to have that engagement and encourages that sharing of ideas.
So, Willie, let me be the skunk at the party here. I'm sure a lot of people watching this are going to disagree. I know almost every Democrat in Congress is going to disagree. But you have 10 Republicans who are coming to the White House who, yes, they started with a number that's low. But here's the amazing thing about negotiations. One party starts low and one party starts high. And so we're at, what, 650 million and 1.9 million. There seems to be a way to find middle ground there. And if you look at the economics of this, the New York Times itself this weekend quoted several economists who said that 1.9 trillion actually is more money that they're going to be pumping into the economy than has been taken out currently by COVID. One other thing, too, we just got a projection from the Congressional Budget Office yesterday that said they expect economic growth at 3.7% this next year, even if there's no additional funding from the federal government. One other thing, they're now putting in a $15 per hour minimum wage piece into this COVID relief package. Liberals like Mika think that's a great idea. If it's a great idea, then have a standalone vote on that. Don't throw additional things into a COVID relief package. I think most Republicans, or some Republicans would vote for that $15 an hour. I mean, in Florida, that passed, even, this past year when Trump won by 3.5 percentage points. So I'm just worried, and forgive me for not being brief here, but I'm just worried that Joe Biden has an opportunity to meet in the middle, to figure out a middle path forward that gets 10 Republicans in this thing. They don't have to, go immediately to pushing them aside and reconciliation and just getting the 50 votes. And he does something that Barack Obama wasn't able to do. He does something that George W. Bush wasn't able to do effectively, and that is start his administration with a bipartisan relief package. And if they need more down the road, they can get more down the road. And by the way, this is what they did a couple of months ago in December. They had a bipartisan package a couple of months ago. Let's have another one now. Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.